I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today we're reading from the book of Romans, chapter 14, and let's focus on verses 19 through 23. So then we must pursue what promotes peace and what builds up one another. Do not tear down God's work because of food. Everything is clean, but it is wrong for man to cause stumbling by what he eats. It is a noble thing not to eat meat or drink wine or do anything that makes your brother stumble. Do you have faith? Well, keep it to yourself before God. Blessed is the man who does not condemn himself by what he approves. But whoever doubts stands condemned if he eats, because he is eating not from his faith, and everything that is not from faith is sin. Now Shabbat, that is the Sabbath, in Israel is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to experience. From sundown on Friday until sundown Saturday, the whole nation pretty much shuts down. Almost nobody is driving vehicles, and most businesses are closed, especially in Jerusalem. And there is a sense that strict observance of Shabbat in Israel is not always voluntary. It seems to be forced upon the population by the Orthodox Jewish community, who, while being the minority of the population, are extremely zealous for the Lord. Now, if you disagree, just try driving through an Orthodox neighborhood on the Sabbath. You'll receive a hailstorm of rocks and bricks intended to force you to comply with their interpretations of the Sabbath commands. And that being said, I remember sitting in my Israeli hotel, enjoying a kosher instant coffee, and wishing that the United States would shut down for a day every week, a legislated day of rest. You know, when I was growing up in the South, it was against the law to operate a business on Sunday. Only certain restaurants could open, and then they could only be open to serve people that had gone to church or whatever. The political leaders felt that it was good for the community if everyone went to church. And that's all over the South, not just one town. But by the early 1980s, people's demand to buy and sell overrode the Southern lawmakers. And folks argued that their personal liberties, the right to do business whenever they liked, were being violated by a minority of elected Jesus freaks. So Romans 14 is broken down into two sections: the law of liberty and the law of love. Now, the law of liberty basically states that we are free to choose for ourselves when it comes to the days of worship and regulations of what to eat or what to drink. There is a law of liberty. And the law of love has a different take. It doesn't nullify the law of liberty, but it says that even though we are free in the Messiah, there are times when it is necessary to forsake our personal liberties to encourage and to build up the less mature believers in Jesus. And that is, we are called to love people more than our liberties. And we should imitate Jesus, as Paul wrote to the church in Philippi. Philippians chapter 2, verses 6 through 8, who, being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God. Instead, he emptied himself by assuming the form of a slave, taking on the likeness of men. And when he had come as a man in his external form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. Now you say to yourself, you know what, I have a liberty and I don't think I should have to give it up. Okay, well, look at the liberties that Jesus gave up in order to save you. What is it now that you could give up in order to see other people come to the Lord? I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. And yes, we need your monthly support. Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. You know, another way to help is just tell people about Groundworks Ministries. You can share these podcasts with friends and family and on your social media. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.